Ghost. Welcome to Smoke Session Confessions, where cosmic conversations bring everything out in the smoke. Right? Cosmic conversations just meaning high vibrational conversations where you overstand the comprehension of what's really going on. Throughout this journey, I've realized that as you heal, you have to, deal with your own kind. Kind of goes against the segregation part. At the same time, it's a respect thing. Like, it's not like I got an issue. It's just a growth, right? And with all of the platforms and everything out here, there's not a space for a healed person to feel comfortable. Why do I say this? Because they don't know what it look like. In which everybody should know what it look like because we know what hurt looks like. So everything you learn along your journey is considered a tool. One tool I learned at the latter part of this journey, right before my graduation, was that, it was, shall I say, it was kind of said to me, but like shown to me, you know, once you open your eyes, you just look at things very differently, right? So when they said it to me, I'm like, it makes sense. Said maybe you put her to show us what it looked like, and it made a lot of sense. It's like just throughout the journey, the process of the healing journey / ascension journey, you understand that people don't know what certain things look like. That's why we keep repeating the same cycles. I know this because I've repeated a lot of cycles, right? I'm going to share my credentials in a minute at the University of Life and how I got to where we are right now at this point, right? I used to tell people that sometimes the hardest thing in life is to put yourself in somebody else's shoes so they can understand where you're coming from, or where you can understand where they coming from. That just means get a full comprehension, like of the situation at hand right there, where, why, when. And it happened real fast. It happened real fast, right? At the same time, a lot of people have conformed and they have not fully transformed their minds. They haven't. In the right direction, I'll say. Everybody's mind is transformed one way or another, right? And we're gonna walk through it. Sometimes, like as a human, you realize that people are visual learners. You have to have some form of intelligence to be a audio learner or a writing learner, a studier. Like, it's many different ways people learn. Some people learn better ways than others. Most people are visual. Some people are audio learners. And, a lot of people like to research. There's others that like to research. Not too many, but a lot of people like to research. Same time, you're doing some form of research, whether it's visual, audio, or studying. So a lot of the times, one of the things people would tell me in my life is, you have a lot of good advice, but you just never follow your own advice. Why you don't ever follow your own advice? And I used to tell them, like, I'm cool. Like, I'm going to be all right. I'm cool. And I would keep going. I would be cool. Sometimes it put me in spots. Sometimes it didn't. At the same time, it's neither here nor there because it was just a lesson. And when I took my own advice, took their advice about myself, shall I say, it led me here to Smoke Session Confessions, where cosmic conversation bring everything out in the smoke, right? Throughout experience, the experience is where the knowledge comes from. So I'm going to kick this off by sharing my story. We're going to share the story because you can't know where you can't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. Same time, they tell you have to remember where you came from. Right? Double-edged sword. So for me, I would say I always would tell people, like, we're not put here to learn anything but to remember what you already know. So, translation right here. I can't take you somewhere unless you know where my story, where I come from, right? Where I come from. These will be my credentials. At the same time, we're not put here to learn anything but to remember what we already know. Inside of this journey, I'm going to show you how that deems to be true. Because a lot of things that come to us, we already know. We knew at some point in time. Because this physical body of yours is only as old as the paper say. That little thing that's inside of you that keeps you going every single day, even when you want to quit and give up, that's way older than that. We're going to go through it, right? Disclaimer. This is my story, my journey, and how I healed from childhood traumas and childhood traumas, everyday life trials and tribulations, and the results thereof, the tools that I picked up, and I'm gonna just share what it looks like. When I first started my TikTok page, I would tell people, like, there's a difference between 3D and 5D talk. There's an absolute difference. Only reason is it's the vibration. If every word is associated with a number, and every number holds a vibration, that will mean every letter holds a vibration. So as you speak, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. That's a vibration. So I would say things that was regular. I would interchange certain words. Not purposely, that's just how my mind operates. Interchangeably. It would be right on what they would be saying. It'll just sound different, which changed the meaning of what you're saying, of what I was saying. It's kind of like a little trick I used to do back in the day. That I still do it to this day because it's normal everyday life. You know how a person asks you something and you answer the question, or you ask a person something. My bad. When you ask a person something and they respond at you and not to you, they respond at you, not to you. What I mean is, they respond to what you're saying and not what you mean. But they say what you mean and mean what you say, right? That's how easy it is for people to get caught up in lies, because they listen to what a person say, not to what the person means by what they're saying. Even though that person that's lying, it's normal to them. That's why the words were said, forgive them because they do not know. They don't. They never knew what it looked like. So how can you hold them accountable? You can hold them accountable because as they experience, through their experience, the different tests will show up and they still will ignore it. The signs will continue to show, you will still ignore them. But we have these red flag and green flag campaigns that be going on. The same time, people be talking about spell work and energy work and things of that nature, in which everyday conversation is basically spell work. So we're going to go a lot of different ways, right? Along this journey. Some things may be triggering. A lot of things may be triggering. I'm comfortable with who I am and what I am. So that makes me no difference. I used to be like that. Hear something and let it affect me. Till I start grabbing things and analyzing them before I respond. That's what I mean by people responding to you and at you and not to you. That's kind of sort of where telepathic communication comes from. We'll get into all of that. The thing about it is, the most important thing is to take everything internally as a visualization. See the picture. Hear the words, see the picture. Open your eyes, open your ears, and you'll be okay. Any questions, just ask the questions. It's cool. The comments always be open. Soon, we'll start doing some live things of that nature. We're gonna see how this thing is received, right? So, excuse. So let's get it. My second born name, Mahadi Ghost, the rebirth. Right? Had that name for a nice little minute, over 10, 15 years now. And to be honest to you, like, it wasn't something that I just sat back and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna come up with this. I've been on this journey for a long time, right? Long time. I always knew it's just at different points where the test came in, I couldn't see that it was a test. Right? So let's see if we can unpack this situation in a way to where it's received well, and the comprehension of it all is at an all-time high, because that's the only way. Right? Cool. In the beginning, let me get prepared for story time. In the beginning, they said I was born in the 4th month on the 2nd day in 1984. On the eve when family ties died in the morning of a crack epidemic. I used to say that. I used to be like, hey, look, my name is such. I was born evening when family ties died in the morning of a crack epidemic. It came out of nowhere, right? It came out of nowhere. At the same time, it made sense to me, even when it came. See, a lot of the times people ignore that little voice in their head. And that voice is the other you. All of this, everything that I'll be saying is scientifically proven. Whether you know where to look for it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you know so or not, that's your free choice. See, there's a difference in free will and free choice. You know, you have free choice. You have to use your free choice to earn your free will. Because everybody's free will has been tampered with at some point or another in the story. We're going to get to that though, right? Cool. Y'all ready? Y'all with me? So listen, we're going to start at the beginning. I used to always throughout this journey, I would tell people, you got to put everything together. If you want unity, you have to put it all together. So as I picked up certain keys, and keys meaning tools, information is tools, right? As you hear me refer to tools throughout all of my publications, it is always to be information, always, right? So starting in the beginning, right? Get some little background, right? We're gonna start right here. It's this thing called the divine triangle, right? The divine triangle. The divine triangle is Your life, Trinity. It's your life, Trinity. Your youth, your power, and your wisdom. The three embodiments of yourself. Essence. It's all essence. Take everything in allegory so you can see the picture. So in the beginning, right? In the beginning, I was given a name. I was born on a date. But throughout life, throughout my journey, I always felt like it was some different shit going on. Right? I always felt like it was some different shit going on. I was into the church. They took me to church when I was a kid. And there's no disrespect to nobody. These are just my truths. They took me to church. And off the bat, I noticed, like, why does it seem like you always talking to the person? Like every time you go, it's like you just know what's going on. They must be connected to God. This and that. And I'm like, all right. Then you will always hear them say that pastors are imperfect. You know, some of them it will always be a joke. You know, some pastors was pimps, dope fiends, and this and that. Like, but later on down the line, it's like you get some of the best game from drunk motherfuckers, and you know, they just be in a certain stage of their life at a crossroad that they can't. They choose not. See, I had to replace can't with choose. Like, make a choice. Stop saying can't. Choose. Make the choice. It's the only way I was able to heal. In the beginning, people would take it as that I was just suppressing things. And for a while, I would take that into consideration. And after a while, it made me feel like I was questioning myself. So I would fall back, you know? And as I would not listen to that, listen, but not take it in, not allow the energy to feed onto me, regardless on what they meant by it, what their intention was, it wasn't that, right? And throughout this process of unpacking and sharing my credentials from the University of Life, you'll see how everything is incorporated because they say we're all connected, which we are in many ways than people think. But it all starts in one spot, and that's energy. So, in the beginning, for the people that are in the numbers, right? Right? The life lesson of my first name is 22. Life lesson, last name, 1. Put them together. The full entirety of the name, and it comes out to it's just got to be wrong. I was gonna pause it, but I don't want to make it seem like I'm faking this shit, right? So let me go. I gotta pull these notes out because I thought I had the right paper right there, and I got buku calls coming in that say scam likely. We do not answer those. So let me see. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right. So in the notes, right? So in the notes, right? The lesson is 1. The soul is 11. Hello. Hello. Who is this? They tripping. Anyway, I'm trying to get it done, right? See, check me out. So, you know, it's some other numbers in there, right? the full triangle breakdown will be another story, but you have 3 blocks. You have each block you have 3 blocks, which is a 27-year. 27 year, right? 27 years. Each one of them is 27 years, 3 sides. Each side has a square. 0 to 27 is your youth year. When you think 27, what? Yeah, 27, you still young. Think about this. You read stories that said that people live for hundreds of years. So that would mean you will still be in your adolescent stage, right? Okay, cool. So we're going to start there. 0 to 27 is how we're going to start this off. The youth stage, the program stage, they say that the kids or the future, yet they allow them to be programmed by things that don't directly correlate positively to their future. It's okay. It's okay. We finna unpack it. I'm gonna show you what it looked like. Not pointing no fingers. They told you don't point fingers because when you point fingers, you got more pointing back at you. So let's go like this. We started out, my life started out on the west side of St. Louis at the gambling house. So we started on the west side of St. Louis, off of Academy and Minerva. These are the earliest memories. I used to have conversations with one of my cousins, my old head cousins, that one of the black sheep, but he gonna be there. He used to be like, man, how you be remembering all of this shit? I'm like, I just remember. So it's spotty, but it tells a story. My story. So we stayed at this lady house named Miss Mary. Miss Mary ran the gambling house. I don't know how we got there. I don't remember no hospital pictures. I don't remember no arm baby moments. I don't remember none of that. Right? Even though later in the stage, I found out something that happened before this point in time where I started at, the memory started at, that didn't sit well with me, but I have no recollection of it. Right? So Miss Mary house. Miss Mary ran the gambling house. There was a lot of people in there. They used to have tunk games, domino games, spade games, all type of games going on. Most of the time at the gambling house, there's drugs and alcohol involved, around, rampant. Everybody in the house drank. My mom drank Miller High Lifes. She used to love her Miller High Lifes. It was drugs in the house also at the time. When I first got there, I didn't know my mom had an addiction. An event that happened during this time came to actually change my life and like how I see a lot of things. Right? So let's go. I'll never forget. It was apartment building at the end of the street. Right. If you ever for purposes, doing the story, sometimes I may look off. When I'm looking off, I'm looking at my chalkboard, my internal chalkboard that I check my notes on that has the pictures hanging on it from my research. So just bear with me as I tell the story. Never forget, it was an apartment building at the corner. And first house, big house, gate, walk up the stairs, 3-story joint. Walk in the door, living room, it was a connecting door. That was Miss Mary room. You go to the back, kitchen. Had the kitchen in the back. Now you had the living room, then the dining room, then Miss Mary room. But I really think all of them end up being her room. I think. You go up the stairs, hang a left, top. That's the landing, second floor. In the corner to the left, it was the living room. Cat corner, 45 degrees. It was a door to the living room, was a connecting door to the room that we lived in. And if you 90-degree left, it was a window right there, but it was some stairs that went to the attic. Where later I found out one of my cousins lived up there. And I got in trouble for cutting one of her ponytails off. Yep, I cut one of her ponytails off young. We was playing beauty salon. I cut one of the ponytails off. Her dad, I think it was her dad. I just at the time, I don't know. At the time, it was like all I knew was was her mom boyfriend. He with me, pissed me off, pissed my mom off too. My cousin and my mama got into it, and it was all right. So during that time, like it was other kids there. I was the smallest kid, like frame wise. I was the smallest kid, so I always was like get picked on a little bit. Like how we grow up, you would treat your younger siblings. So it wasn't like they was trying to fight me, bully me, and nothing like that. It was just like little joke shit, right? So boom, they got me one day because they was like, open your mouth, pause, open your mouth, and you gotta guess what it is. They put some fucking dish liquid on my tongue, and I was like, that shit was like, come on now, y'all tripping. So you go to the right, cat corner left, cat corner right. It's a door right there. That's the room that we lived in. Then there was a little office room that was connected to it. That was where my room was. Had a little twin bed, little half couch in there. Mom bed, TV up against that door. Right, stairs down. There's another room up there in the bathroom. Everything cool. It was just me though. You know, like around this time, like I knew I had cousins. I would go and visit them. What it was like, for the most part, I just remember that house right there. Right. Don't remember Dad too much around this time. I don't. Don't remember Dad too much around this time. I know he came around. Like I know I saw my dad, but I like moving forward. We gonna show you. So one day, like it was just me. So I remember one day, kids was outside. It snowed real good. Kids was outside. You could sled down the little back stairs. My mom was asleep, knocked out. Kept trying to wake her up. She like, boy, wait till I wake up. I'm like, they gonna. So she wake up like I thought the kids was in the house and gone. The other friends was gone. The other kids they came in. They was cold. They went. So I stayed out there a little bit by myself. And she just looked from the window. She like, boy, bring your. So I went back in. All right, cool. I remember another instinct. I'm just touching on like the memory gets better. In the beginning, it's just kind of foggy. So another instinct, I remember I almost set the whole damn house on fire. I got to beat the living daylights out of that day. Like kid playing with matches. With a lighter. Again, mom sleep. In which it's gonna make sense in a minute. Mom sleep, playing, set the trash can on fire. Here go the flames. I try to put it out, couldn't do it, crying. Yeah, I know the rest of the story. Mom woke up, put the fire out. Almost, I ain't died, right? I'm still here talking, so I did not die that day, right? Cool. Though at times I wonder what my life would have been like. And this is why I say on the eve when family ties down in the morning of a crack epidemic. Because it was a little bit of family there, but it was like the crack epidemic was right there. So this is what I mean by that. Those sleeps that my mom would be in while I was trying to go and have fun turned out to be drug sleeps. My mom used to she went to nursing school. I never remember her going to nursing school, but she would give me a blood pressure machine and a stethoscope. I used to find her papers as I got older, so that's where the nursing school stuff come from. Asked her why she didn't finish. She said she got pregnant with my brother. We know how that goes. So she would give it to me, cut the cartoons on. She'd be like, she knew I love White Castle. Go get you some White Castle. All right, it was right around the corner. So boom. Never paid attention. Never paid attention. Never paid attention because she'll come back, we'll eat, and she'll lay down. Or I'll eat and she'll lay down and she'll be like, she'll start eating and she'll be like, she'll finish eating when she wake up. Right? So boom. One day she gave me the setup, cut the TV on, she left, and she was gone a little bit too long. Like I'm like, wait a minute. I done watched like 3 episodes of cartoons. This shit finna come back on again. I done took my blood pressure 45 million times. Where she at? Where she at? So I go outside. I'm looking for her. I asked Miss Mary, you seen nobody had seen her. So go back upstairs a little while longer. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I get on the phone. Kid. I'm thinking police friendly. Like, I'm taught, like, if you have any questions, you can ask the police. I got on that phone, 911. Hey, like, what's your emergency? I said, do you know where my mommy is? They said, your mommy's not there. I hung up the phone. They called back. Hey, is your mommy there? I'm like, no. They was like, what's your address? I hung up the phone again. Right? Nobody knew I had called out. So when they called back, Miss Mary came upstairs and she opened the door so fast. She like, listen, the police are going to come over here. Don't cry. Stay in the room. Do not cry. Right? I'm like, yes, ma'am. She closed the door, put the lock on. We had a padlock that we put on when we left, so wasn't nobody going our shit. When I tell you them police came, hey, they was like, listen, open this door. Y'all got a kid locked in there. She like, they trying to make it like it's a fire hazard. This was prior to me setting the motherfucking wall on fire. They probably would have smelt it. So, long story short, she ain't let them come in because they was trying to take me that day. My mom came, she go off on my mom, came back, she gave me the food, apologized, shit like that. She tried to say that they just took a long ass time with the food. I heard her down there going off. I ain't know what they was saying at the time, but anyway. So she promised she wasn't gonna leave me alone again. All right, cool. So she did it again. But when she gave me the setup, I started crying. She like, no, I'm just gonna go in the other room, right next door, right? I heard the music. All right, cool. She like, I'm gonna come back and forth and check on you. It was a party downstairs. So I'm like, it's normal. She go over there again, a little too long. Where you at? So here I come looking for a nosy ass little kid. Hear the music, call her name. Ain't hear nothing. Walk clean in the room. Smoke everywhere. So I walk and I'm saying her name. Nobody can hear me because of the music. I look this way. Somebody smoking a cigarette. I just keep walking. It was like 2 long ass couches in the room on both of the walls because it was like the little chill out area. Boom. So I walk. As soon as I get to the corner, I just see a hooter. I'm like, Mom. She looked, got up out of there. She came in there, apologized, was trying to tell me she wasn't smoking. I saw what I saw. Simple. I saw what I saw. So she was like, we had to get up out of there. She had met this guy. They used to come to the court, to the gambling house, like everybody else. Mama did, Auntie did, met somebody, street dude. But he was just he wasn't street. He just played cards. He was a gambler. So met dude and was like, real quick, take you somewhere. And we went he called a partner of his, told him he knew he had a space available, but it wasn't ready. He said he had to do some work, give him about a month, couple months, something like that. Whatever the hell it was. We ended up leaving there the next day, going we moved above this store, Norway. We moved above the store on the north side. Moved above the store. Was like the door was on the that building's still there. Miss Mary House not there no more. This building's still there. Door on the back side, you go up, first landing, double back, second landing, and you on the second floor, hallway. Boom. It was like one of them project hallways looked like all of the lights didn't work. It was them old ass like you would see in a old like creepy gangway type of light setup type of shit. And we stayed down, looked past the middle to the left, stayed up there. My auntie found out and was like, "What you doing over here?" Said we had to go, told her, So she moved us in with her. Now I'm back with some kids, it's all good. Life over there was straight. It was super straight. Like, it was super straight. You know, everybody went through the lights off and, shit like that from time to time, but we ate. We was together. Everything was cool. No harm, no foul. We ain't know no better. We moved from there around the corner to the next street, up the street from the store with my auntie. They moved into another spot. From there, shit, we they got into it. My auntie had a boyfriend. And he used to get high. He was still a cool dude, like regardless of the fact. Like I think looking back, like on experience, he was the first like functioning addict, kind of sort of that I seen, because like he was cool as shit. The kid I wouldn't say that he was high when he dealt with us, even though sometimes he was or whatever, but G was hella fucking cool with us, like hella fucking cool with us. So, but for some reason, my mom, my auntie got into it, and she put us out. She put us out, and right around that time, I think the place got ready. So we moved to another part of the north side, and it was cool. More space. Had my own little spot, little shotgun. You go up the stairs, straight full my mom room. Right in the little hallway, bathroom. She kicked that door off on my ass one day. Kitchen, balcony. I used to climb down the balcony, sneak out the house. Um, her room, make a right, double back, living room, which was my room. Y'all know how I go. Uh, it was cool. It was cool. Started school around this time. By the way, before we moved, like I used to again, right? Earliest memory is an old dude. He used to come pick me up on his tractor. He used to cut grass for the city. Like at my auntie house, he used to come pick me up. I remember and shit like that. Boom, boom. When we moved to the new spot, it was more frequent. Times was hold on. So it was cool, school, everything. It was school. I started school, kindergarten, so it was cool, right? Now, times with mom and dad obviously was different. But this was like at this point right here, it was around 1990. I say 1990, 1991, because my old dude ended up going to jail. And my old dude went to jail for shooting 5 guys that was trying to jump on his brother, allegedly. My old dude was drunk. The story goes, my old dude was drunk. He called his brother to pick him up and take him home. Well, his brother picks him up and he wants to stop at another bar. Leaves my dad sleep in the vehicle, goes in the bar, gets drunk, gets to arguing with some guys, and comes out. Right? Comes out, the disturbance wakes my father from his drunken slumber. What does my old dude do? They said he used to always carry a 357 revolver. Right? Gets out. What's the problem? Blah, blah, blah. Remember, he on his levels at the same time. This is his brother. Y'all got us fucked up type of situation. So, boom. My dad ends up shooting the guys. They didn't die. They leave. Well, if you familiar with the St. Louis area, like, it's two separate sides of the water. They was on one side, went to the other side. My dad stayed on one side, even though we had family on the side that he was on. Right? A lot of our family from that side. And it was cool. So, boom. Investigation comes out. My old dude ends up going to jail. Do it 5 years for shooting these guys, defending his brother. The same brother that turned around and snitched on him for the shooting. So whether they were trying to give my uncle the time or it was a setup, whatever. My uncle still snitched on my old dude. He go to jail 5 years. Boom. During this time, my dad was incarcerated. It was bittersweet times because I did get to see my dad, but they left scars because I had to leave him. My dad was incarcerated in the walls. They call it the walls because it was a big ass wall. It was just walls for days up around the motherfucker, like he was in a concrete box. Right? So it was one of them things too. So as a kid, seeing your father, like before he went to jail, they brought him to see me and my little sister. I had a little sister that I would see, I would see her, spend time with her. She had a different mom, another sister and a brother. They was cool. They brought him to see us at a funeral home, shackled up, fucked me up. I'm like, damn, like this, like, what we finna do? I was happy to go see him. I ain't understand what was going on. So he go to jail. We would go see him, and me, my little sister, my little cousin, and my auntie. Two of my aunties, most of the time, it was us going. My mom never went. We used to go and see him. My old dude was solid as shit, big motherfucker. Like, shit, what y'all talking about? He used to always say he was the baddest motherfucker in the world. Like, that shit used to be crazy. Right? Crazy shit. So, he used to do headstands and shit, push us on the swings. But my old dude, I never understood. I'm like, how you in jail and you got money? Like, he'd give us little dollars to go buy little shit from the little, like, used to have this little commissaries and shit. So, boom. So, he get out. I won't say everything went back to normal, but he got out and it was all good. Like, I was happy to be around my old dude, so life was different. When I go to my old dude, it's more men around, everything cool. My big boy cousins and shit. We play basketball. Old chicken. It was a family house on in Pine Line. It was a family house over there. And down in the middle of the bottom of the hill, like it's always like everybody knew everybody over there. So it like stayed up there. The cousins stayed up the street. There was a hoop in the backyard. My uncles used to work on trucks, work on everything really. Like every fucking thing. But it was a hoop back there. So everybody like I was supposed to my dream was to play on TV one day. I swear you couldn't tell me nothing. I was going to the league one day. So same at mom house. But with dad, it was more so just like thinking back, me being with my dad at the time, it more so wasn't a learning experience. It was more so of an outlet than being at mom house. Because, single shit is like it go how it go. Same time my dad was hustling and I really didn't know type shit what was going on. So it was like, all right, cool. But that's how a lot of kids grow up. Like one parent is just an outlet and the other is there to provide the structure, which there is no structure when there's just one parent in the household. So, and that's another story. You know, we'll get into that different segment, but let's follow it through. So it was different. Mom, school, it was straight. I had my own friends over there. Everything was cool. Um, Tumbling, we was big tumblers. We played sports, basketball, milk crate champions. We did our thing. We built clubhouses. We climbed trees, ran house rubs. We did all type of shit. Bike riding to the candy factory. We did anything that you can think about doing in that in at that time. We did. I didn't have an older brother to toughen me up. And when I was with my old dude, like it was all love. Like it wasn't no hold nothing. Like cause my older cousin, like they kept it separate. Like what they did was what they did. They kept it separate from us. So it wasn't never a time where I had to really worry about some shit, right? So go to school. It was this one little dude that stayed up the street that I was in class with. You know how the classroom rivalries be. And we got into it one day. Dude bit me. We was playing dodgeball. Dude bit me in the head. I told him I'm gonna whoop your ass when we get home. Cause he stayed up the street. I must have went home, took me a little nap, woke up, I heard they ass outside too. They were jumping on the mats. And again, go outside, we polite and everything, right? So I look out there, see everybody standing in line, but I see his little bitch ass. So I'm like, all right, he jumping on the mats. I'm like, by the time I get outside, all right. So boom, my mom at work. I got a couple hours before she get back. Long as the homework good, I'm straight. I go outside and dude jump off. I'm wiping sleep out my eyes. Walk up to the mat. He pushed. As soon as I was finna crack him, his mama called him. Come eat. He talking shit. I'm like, all right. I know he finna come back outside. He go eat, come back outside. By this time, my people's there now. Now my people, my cousins there, one of my big cousins, they came and just chilled and shit before the mom get off work. So they chilling. He come down the street talking shit. But man, I'm young. Like I'm finna show off for my peoples and shit. I'm like, dude, I cut your ass. My mom used to have this knife in the side, in the little bedside table. And I used to always see her pull the motherfucker out. So I'm like, I go and get the knife. I'm like, my cousin like, boy, if you don't. I'm like, all right, cool. So we put the knife up. He was like, go ahead, scrap them on out. I go down there, get in the grass, tie my shoes up. I'm like, you ready? He like, yeah, bing, bing, bing. Getting busy. Boop. So we fight his mom, come break it up. She dragged him up the street. I'm Billy Badass at the time. He steady talking shit. Oh, bitch ass nigga. I ran up on him, cracked him again while his mom was pulling him up the street. Leave my son alone. So from there, it was like, all right, cool. So from there, they sent me I got tested in a second grade for gifted program. They gave me this little IQ test, second grade. I scored like a 115, 115, something like that, 118, something. And it was like, you can go to another school. My mom, she like, all right, cool. We can get out this neighborhood, get a different little shits. All right, cool. So they sent me to the other school. They said the thing about it is it's gonna be the grade up. So I get tested in second. I go to the school in third grade. In third grade, we're doing fourth grade work. In fourth grade, we're gonna do fifth grade work. So I'm like, wait a minute. All right, cool. I'm still good though. I'm excited. Go and do this shit. A little nervous, different part of school. Go over here. I meet some hood niggas. Everything cool. Like funny shit. Like this was back during the time where the Kool-Aid bags was in style. We had the Kool-Aid bags. Dude used to go to school with named Paul. Paul stayed in the projects. We picked Paul up. He gets up on the bus, tells him he the dope man. Got 2 fat Kool-Aid bags. We got our bags. So it's all good. We literally we used to sell handfuls of Kool-Aid for 50 cents in school in elementary, because a lot of kids, especially the YT kids, they parents didn't allow them to make these things at home. So we selling 50 cents, 75. We hustling. So boom. We get in trouble. Trevor gets us in trouble. Trevor is I think Trevor was Irish. Trevor was this ADHD Irish guy. Real cool. Trevor was the coolest shit in the world. But dude was just off. Like he just did biodome type shit. Right? So one day Paul pretends to be snorting the Kool-Aid in front of Trevor. We're on lunch recess. Trevor says he said, bet me 50 cents that I won't snort it for real. What? Paul is a fool. I'll give you $1 if you snort it for real. What? That boy went. He was like, it was just a joke, whatnot, whatever, cool. He takes off, pew, comes back, just in character, geeking. Give me smart, give me smart. So it was all over with. It was all cool. Trevor takes his silly ass to the next class and try to do the same thing to somebody else, to one of his friends. Not us, to one of his friends, and got his ass in trouble. He snitched on everybody. Nino Brown, the whole situation. We in 3rd grade, and we had 6 days ISS. 6 days ISS, all of us cramped in a little office doing that. Look, snitch. First time I got snitched on, right? First time. And I ain't had nothing to do with the situation. I was guilty by association. I didn't serve Trevor. My associate served Trevor. See what I'm saying? Early. Should have learned early, right? So, boom. Now, I did skip an infraction because in kindergarten, they gave me 3 months detention for 1,500 words. I was staying in my seat while the teacher's out the room. Yeah. I had an incident where I chased somebody, my buddy, we was throwing in the classroom, and he ended up busting his eye over on the table leg. Yeah, that's anyway. So go to this school, everything cool. The work part though. Now they said I was smart. They ain't say how smart. We doing another level of work. That means I need some help. Well, being in a single family household, you don't have that much help. Mom don't know this shit for real. Remember, we have issue. Then it's like when you clear the shit up, she was still smart, but it's like she didn't have the time. Right? She ain't had the time, and it wasn't like you was promoting this tutor. When I was at the neighborhood school, it was all good. You know, I guess my mind just functioned differently. I caught on faster than the others, but you have to nourish that. You have to nourish that so everything will function properly. So go here, had some good times, but I failed at work. Surely did. Failed the shit out that work. Thing about it is they had a clause. They said if you didn't do good, the first year they'll still pass you. The first semester you'll be on probation, and then if you don't make the grades, they send you back to your regular school. So first thing my mom, she's like, so if he failed, do they hold him back? Like, no, they keep him at the same grade. You just gotta, all right, cool. Shit, I do that shit, man. When I tell you I go up there, fuck it up, and come back, I get sent right back to my school. End up doing real well. I had this teacher, Mr. Mayhem, cool brother, real strong, taught us the way. Made sure I got through it. We used to have this little after school program called BFL. They took us on little trips and shit like that. The first Black Power Unity involvement that I was in back in the day. It wasn't quite sort of like Panther shit, but it was dope. It was pretty dope. We needed it in the community. So go through all of that, right? Graduate there, go to middle school. Mind you, I came back from the gifted program, graduate there. They sent me to the neighborhood middle school. No, sir. Let's go over here. So send me back to the gifted middle school. Everything cool. Link back up with the same guys. Da, 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 da. First thing out the mouth. This is how our peoples work. Soon as they see me, yo, stupid ass caught back up, huh? I'm like, fuck yeah, like it was for like them was my guys, man. Like them was my guys. For real though. So it was cool. Like it was cool. I remember a specific time where looking back on how the delivery of it was, the subject matter was okay, but how it was delivered, it caused a disruption that got some people in trouble. So we had this program is what they call them. When you go to the auditorium, you hear the people talk, they get a little. So we had these people come talk to us about sexual equality or something like that, like men and women equal to. Da, da, da. But it was a part in there where they was like, they said like trying to place men above women in certain situations and things like. They had a whole discussion like Q&As and everything. Like it was interesting at the same time, like how it turned out. It was a under the thumb type of thing. Like, ladies, don't let them have you under the thumb. You don't want to be under nobody. And I'm like, so being funny. You know, a couple of people would walk around with their thumb out, like try to put their thumb, like stop playing. Like it started off as a little joke, but then it got out of hand, and of course we know how it went to where the teacher had to make an announcement, like y'all better stop playing. So graduate there. Most of the time there it was sports. It was sports and just kicking it. We kicked it. We kicked it. We kicked it. A lot of sports action, developing crafts and things of that nature. Girl introductions and things of that, first kisses, and it was cool. Go to high school. Excited to be there. Ready to get this experience over with. Mind you, I'm still thinking I'm gonna play on TV, so go through all of that. And I knew I didn't want to go to college. I knew I didn't want to go to college. Throughout all of the different experiences in high school, school was straight. Didn't get picked on, none of that. I was a popular loner. I was with the cool kids, but I wasn't like, I ain't do what the cool kids did. You know, I was an athlete, right? I was funny. We was cool. I grew up. I went to school with everybody, so we kind of come in like on that type of level. At the same time, most of the upperclassmen were upperclassmen to us. Like it was a whole cycle, so it was cool. Advancement with girls, got, first clinical visit, only clinical visit. Doing something shouldn't have had no business doing, but whatever. Home life, mom worked a lot. She worked a lot. I know that parents have to work. They have to provide for the household. At the same time, there must be balance. There must be balance. Because I used to tell my mom sometimes, like, I used to ask her, why does she sacrifice work so much over our relationship? Because I knew that, like, it was a disconnect there. It wasn't a disrespectful thing. It was just a disconnect because you work so much, you really don't even know me. And she'd be like, I gotta provide what you want. The lights to get cut off first. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But it's the same thing, like, throughout the story, like, that's the same problem that, they say a man will find more times than others a woman like their mother, and the woman will find a man more than times like their father. And if you look at their parental relationships and how they went, you can see how relationships will go. So mom worked. So again, big brother stayed with his dad. So wasn't no brotherly guidance. He came through and shit like that. By this time, my old dude had 2 more kids, and my little sister was living with him, and he had got married. So he had his own family. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? I would be over, like, I was there. Like, I can't sit here and say my old dude wasn't there. It just wasn't in home like the average child wanted. So, graduate high school, I go to the military. I'm 18 now. Graduate in May. 5 days later, I touched down in South Carolina. Whole new experience. Right? My brother had went to the Navy. And for a minute, my mom used to be like, why you don't go to the service? And I used to thought she used to try to get rid of me until like one day, like I was kicking it with my partners and shit, and I just started paying attention. I'm like, I'm gonna be doing this shit right here with them if I don't do something. I knew I didn't want to go to college, so I chose the service. I go to the service, and it was cool. Like I had did ROTC in high school, so I knew what to expect. At the same time, it was cool. First, about the get to reception, go through all the paperwork, get everything done. This how they bait you in, right? Like, if you ain't never been to the service, like reception is where you go in, you get your initial paperwork done, you get your initial issue is where they give you all your equipment and shit like that, and you take your first PT test, and at the same time, it's a drill sorting school. Drill sorting is the ones who we finna go and see that whip you into shape and carry you through the 9 weeks of process to make you a United States soldier, right? So the bait is the drill sergeants, they're used to eating good. So you have to feed them good. We're just passing through. They're not going to separate the food. So every day it's a cafeteria, call it the defect, buffet style. You got people back there, they only certain servings, without touching certain stuff. And you got crab legs, lobster tails, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, Philly cheesesteaks. You got fried rice, you got white rice, you got gravy, you got pork chops, you got fried chicken, you got everything every single day. So you think this how you finna live. They don't say nothing until you finna leave. Be like, you know what? Enjoy this now because see, this your last meal. When you get over there, ain't gonna be like this. Some of it, but not all of it. They wasn't lying. Only thing was still over there was they had crab legs on certain days. They had lobster tails on certain days. The basic shit, yeah, that was still there. So, we get over there first day, pull up on these buses, file out, go to the company area or the battalion area. You go to these certain these companies, they call your names, and you get put together, and then you wait. You wait for your drill sergeant to come claim their keep, as they call it, claim their cargo. So we was the last ones to get picked up. So we had a comedian. It was an E6. He was an E6, but I think he was like during the times like it be little silent beefs, but not real, but just making it like between different MOSs. So I say this because he didn't look like he did anything. He didn't look like he did anything. So he tell us, he say it's our job to break you down to nothing and build you back up to what we want you to be. What you say? No, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work, Jack. That ain't gonna work. So I started laughing. He say, I said something funny. I say, my mom and dad back in St. Louis, with all due respect, but I understand what you're saying. Oh, you tough. You from St. Louis. What? Boom. He say, come up here. I'm not knowing that I got to have somebody with me when I go up here to talk to him. So I walk up there. He like, you trying to fight me or something, huh? You just going to walk up on me like that? Somebody get up here with him. Anyway, I end up doing push-ups from the first day to the last day of basic training, which was 9 weeks. Me and another guys end up being 11 weeks because our drill sergeant was a dick and he set us up at the end, put a false assault charge on us. for one of the other soldiers that we had a pretty good relationship with. It was just the last weeks we were just horse playing. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I learned a lot in basic training. It was real dope. Met a lot of dope people. First sergeant was cool. Drill sergeant, the main drill sergeant was a dick. The two assistants was cool. The battalion sergeant major, command sergeant major, Woods, forever be grateful. He taught me and my battle buddy what real respect was about. Yeah. We got in trouble. It was to the point to where like he would pull us to the side and have conversations with us. Our drill sergeant looking crazy, like, why are you talking to them? But he had no authority to question him, right? He was the battalion sergeant major. So when the incident went down, it went down on a Sunday. The drill sergeant got all the paperwork signed on a Sunday and submitted the paperwork. So when the sergeant major came in on Monday, he was like, it ain't nothing that he can do. It was already signed. He had the people to sign off on it. Checkmate. So dude was like, I told y'all. Yeah, I got caught in the web, but I told y'all, like, watch out. But anyway, long story short, we left there. When we graduated from the little discipline, little camp, he showed up. And it was dope. So leader, I only did reserves because I wasn't sure about the military at the time. Did reserves, get back to my unit within a year. Get back, like, partners still doing the same shit, nothing changed. Within a year, I get deployed. Within a year, get deployed. Before deployment, though, we go to Germany. 19 years old in Germany, everything is smacking. We go on this little training exercise. They tell me I'ma love it. I'm like, what you mean? It's like, boy, the darker you is, the further east you go. I'm like, man, y'all just talking shit, trying to get me right. Man, I got over there. I had a blast in Grafenwöhr, Germany. I had a blast over there. It was crack. Yeah, we had a blast. A lot of good shit happened over there. Got the orders, come back, get deployed, go to Fort Riley, mob out. Whole time, I'm a mechanic. Y'all training me in close quarter combat and steady telling me don't talk to nobody. Close quarter combat, bioweapons training, and don't talk to nobody. So what does a disobedient kid or a mischievous kid do when you tell them don't do nothing? They do what you tell them don't do. Go over there, deployment was cool. It was one point in time I said, hey, listen, I could have stayed. For real, not on no terrorist shit, but I could have stayed. Like, I could have really stayed. It was cool. Like this is where my eyes got opened up to a lot of shit because life outside of the US, it was different. Like, it was different. What I saw was not what was shown to me on the TV before I came, nor while I was there. It wasn't. So mind you, in the beginning, I was already questioning church because why? Why are you saying this to me? And it sounds like you talking directly to me, maybe this and that. Then I would ask certain questions and they would sometimes tell me I'm talking too much or I'm asking the wrong questions. I'm like, but it say in school, it say this is singular and that's plural. And then when it say us and our, that's not the same. So how am I talking too much, asking, then they will go over here. It says right here in this. So, so you see things and you question things and I learned a lot. I learned a lot over there. I found out that what I was getting paid per month had nothing on what was being paid for the sand that my wooden pad laid on. The tent that was on the pad had to be paid for, which is a substantial amount of money for one tent pad, and when you got to pay for when you got all of these, you paying it. All right, cool. So I'm like, but you paying me this? All right, it was a fun time. I turned 21 in the desert. Turned 21 in the desert. Met some nice guys. It was four melanated men that went over there out of a unit of 18. We made a pact with each other to come home. Like, no disrespect, but that's how I was rocking at that time. Like, we gonna come home as a unit, but we're gonna make sure that the four of us come home. I didn't have children at the time. Both of them had a kid, so it was like, we need to come home. They're like, all right, cool. And Jones ain't have no kid neither. Me and him ain't have no kids. So this deployment taught me a lot about myself and about life. People will lie to you. People will make promises that they can't keep. I learned that politics play a lot in certain things in life, and I picked up a lot of keys. It was a situation to where, like, it was 15 of us, 15 workers, right? Our shifts were offset. They ran a 24-hour post. I was overnight, at a day and night shift, 12 till we just kept rotating. It was offset. It was like 7 on one shift, 6 on one shift. And you got a little off days at the same time. I wanted to be in the motor pool. So one of the rules was, the commander said, don't bring him a problem without a solution. Well, since my problem was I need to be in the motor pool, the solution is let's offset, let's balance the teams. So I go in one day, and this was a 2-for-1 special, right? So I go in one day, and I told her, I said, I need to speak to you guys. They like, all right, cool. The guy who was gonna offset the shift, or who was gonna balance out the shift, he he worked inside of the unit. I mean, inside of the top. He was admin. So how the shift set, it was like, look, let's restructure it. It was even, but we had an odd number of people. So I wanted dude to take my slot on on guard duty, so I can go to the motor pool. He ain't got much to do. They put him on nights. So they like, he ain't got much to do. He come in, make coffee, empty trash, do a little filing, if any. We in country. We ain't doing nothing. We ain't in no contact zone, so he ain't got nothing to do. It was like a resort. Low key, it was so much brass over there. It was like a resort. They wasn't doing nothing. Even though they did have a threat one time that somebody had slid over the berm, and the whole camp, the 2 camps was on high alert. So boom. I say, listen, I have a problem, and I have a solution. Now, as I'm talking to the first sergeant, my commander is over at his little makeshift desk. He was putting papers away. And when I said this, he took notice. I said, listen, the shifts are offset, right? Let's balance the shift off, and let me come out. Let me come out of the field, go to the motor pool, because me being on guard duty is hindering my career. I'm not getting any in-field training. My commander looked at me. He was impressed. He looked at the first sergeant. The first sergeant looked at him. He was like, well, we'll have to see about that. I say, wait, the solution is send him out on guard duty. He not doing nothing. Send him out on guard duty. I'ma be, and you was just guarding trucks. Again, we wasn't in no contact zone. Even the your supply trucks is behind the safe line. So what are you saying? All right, cool. He got hot because dude did all of his gopher work. When dude was there, the first sergeant didn't have to do nothing. Go get coffee, go do this, go do that. Stuff that he's supposed to go and take care of and sign, he sent him. Just tell him, He got hot. Here go the commander. Hey, you wanna he said, go with me to the laundry trailer to get my laundry. No, I'm talking right now. He said my last name. He was like, go with me to get my trailer. I didn't say that you had to get it. Go to get my laundry. He saw I was enjoying the redness in the first sergeant too much to where he had to pull me off. So boom, we leave out. He like, I like that in there. He said, I like that in there. He didn't so much, but I get what you're saying. He like, sometimes you got to promote yourself. I said, with all due, it's a duality that I'm explaining. At the moment, I'm young and not getting it. I'm like, with all due respect, though, sir, I don't, I don't pause. I don't do like that. I'm not a glizzy gobbler. And he was like, no, I'm like, I don't hold up a sign that say, look at me, look at me, look at me. Y'all supposed to be paying attention, right? He was like, that's why I wanted you to come with me to the laundry trailer. I'm gonna make it happen for you. You did exactly what was asked of you, so I'm gonna make it happen for you. So boom, that was cool. But the key in that, sometimes you have to promote yourself, meaning that you can't sit around and wait on somebody else to support you. If you don't support yourself, you don't. How can somebody else believe in you when you're not supporting yourself? You out here, you're using your free will to pray for something, but your free choice, you're walking away from what you asked for. So you the one that's the horse is pulling the pants apart. I'm just saying, it all connects. Everything is connected through energy, symbolism, and everything, right? So, go through that. It's cool. Come back. Now it's the real life. I got me a little change. I get me a little car. Everything cool. I'm outside, right? Again, not having the proper structure and guidance. Me being 21 years old with 20,000 free money, it was a problem. I had proper thoughts. I just didn't have proper motivation. I had been isolated, you grow not isolated, but I had been deployed. Then when you grow up the only one and you looking and searching and seeing, it's like, all right, cool. I'm cool now. I can pop my shit a little bit. So what's up? So for a summer, that's what I did. I caught up with my peoples and shit like that, and pop my shit. I had got a quarter head. Guys. I've always been in my own lane. I didn't need the beats. I mean the tent. I needed some tents, but I had some whole bunch of other shit going on. Like I was outside. I was Mr. Boyfriend number 2, all that extra good shit. I had relationships, but I wasn't I was outside when I wasn't in relationships. I'll put it like that. Or at the end of the relationship, I think one relationship I was in, it transferred over a little bit. But anyway. So come back, everything cool. I crashed my car. It was a whole lot of partying that summer, let's say. It was a whole lot of partying, whole lot of partying, whole lot of drinking, whole lot of weed smoking. That's when I really started smoking weed heavy when I came back. First started smoking cigars, Black and Miles when I was in deployment. They say you go to the military, you go pick up some type of bad habit. Mine just wasn't alcohol. My alcohol developed afterwards. That summer, linked back up with a high school sweetheart of mine. Had a pregnancy scare. Everything was cool. She was a college girl. This when I first started to notice the journey because I always used to say I was attached to something different. I thought different. I was attached to something different. I used to speak to the universe. I'll be just walking outside, be like, "What's up, big homie? What's up, y'all? What's going on?" Da-da-da. Not knowing what I was doing, but I was just doing was just something that I did. So, I'm all goddamn. I mean, so I always knew, like, my faith was just different, right? It was stronger. Not saying nothing about nobody. I just always felt that it was stronger. Like I was attached to something different from something far away. Like it was just something different, right? And I knew I wasn't tripping. I knew I wasn't crazy. So I have during this time I had this vehicle, and I got. Let me see what was first. When it started, when it started, it was right around the time. It was right before me and my first girlfriend broke up. Adult girlfriend relationship broke up. My mom wasn't never in my relationship. She ain't dwell in the relationship. She like, I ain't getting into that. So towards the end of this first relationship, I had caught myself trying to dibble and dabble in the little narcotical trades. And we had this one little smoker that used to show us some little shit, and it was cool. Towards the end of that, my journey started. I used to have little thoughts and conversations. And I thought I was tripping. But I just used to be in real deep thought. I used to do a real deep thought. And uh, she cheated on me. And like when I first started going through the process, it was like I was kind of lost. It was like kind of lost thing. Because what happened was I wrecked that car. The car that I had, I wrecked that car. Like I've died plenty of times in my lifetime and just did not know it. When I wrecked my car, is I wrecked the car, I wrecked the car. When I wrecked that car, I was knocked unconscious. A partner of mine, I came to a partner of mine was getting my stuff out the car. Wrecked that car. During this time, she was the only one that had the car. Right? She cheated on me. We ended up breaking up, cut my arm when I was leaving. We had these French doors on the on the door. And I was packing my shit. I was talking shit. You know how we do. We talk shit when we leaving. And she she closed the door on me. And I go to stop the door and hit the damn pane. Damn near bled the fuck out. But it was cool. Around this time, like we ended up breaking up and shit, separating. And I had got this job at this chemical company. At this chemical company, one day while the power was shut down, we I was walking. That's what I was. I went upstairs where the offices was, walking, just reading news clippings. And the secretary asked me, she was like, "You like reading?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "I'm gonna bring you a book tomorrow." She was like, "Well, thing is with this book, you will never find it. It'll always find you." She say, meaning that you as many times as you go into the library, you'll never go and look for that particular book. It'll be uh recommend, recommended to you. Said, "I'm gonna tell you the name the more. I mean, I'm gonna just give it to you the more. I ain't gonna tell you the names because I don't want you to look at it." I'm like, "All right, cool." Boom. Next day, she bring me the book. The name of the book is called Conversations with God. Right? This book changed my life. This book changed my life. Like, this was right before I wrecked my car. When I crossed this picket line, I was working there. The book was called Conversations with God. It was about a guy who said he's written every single type of letter that a person can imagine writing. Love letters, work letters, Dear John letters, apology letters, collection letters, all type of letters. Said he's never written a letter to God. So he's even written a letter to Santa Claus, and as a kid, never wrote a letter to God. So he thought about it. He said, what would he do What would he even talk to God about? What would he think about? So after he thought about it, he started writing. He said he just got on the floor. He was just writing. And when he finished writing, he said he felt such a release that felt empowering. He written out every transgression, every problem, everything, every single thing that he could think of. He felt like he was speaking for the people to God. He wrote every single problem, every single question that a person could possibly ask God, and he wrote it all out. He said he paused for a second, and while he was breathing, once he caught his breath, he said unconsciously his hand got up and started writing and said, "Do you really want to know?" Said freaked him out. Freaked him out. Do you want to know? He replied, yes. And he said he just went on this journey of writing. He wrote this book, and he said that he only wrote when he was in that energy, when he had that feeling. Said, Many years later, I find out through research that he was channeling. He was in a like a half body channel, to where it's like he's, even though he at the time he wasn't consciously aware of what he was doing, but there's times where you can set your frequency to a certain tune to where you will be placed into a trance-like state to where a certain energy can speak through you. So you will embody a portion of that energy, not giving them full takeover, because there is a full body channel to where you can invite another energy into your body and it will control you. If you don't, it will control you. In this case right here, it was a partial body because he was just channeling, right? I know this because I've done it before. That's another story. At the same time, it's like he wrote this story, and I'm like, wow. Now, in reading the story, it opened my eyes to a couple of things. Everybody is different, and no, I wasn't tripping. Everybody is different. You just got to respect everybody. That's it. And not at the level of respect that you were taught. Like pure, genuine respect. Like for real, pure, genuine respect. You have to respect people. That's how karma happens and things of this nature, because it's the law of cause and effect. People call it the law of karma. It's the law of cause and effect. Whatever you put out is what you're going to receive. If you put out bad, you will receive bad. It's all an energy. We are all connected. So, boom, you say, okay. So, told me that I wouldn't trip. So it set me off on a journey. And I just really started paying attention. I really started paying attention. During these times, I was house hopping. Like I was there at, once me and old girl broke up, I was back to my mom's. And it was like my mom house, my auntie house, my mom house, my auntie house, my cousin house. I stayed over there for a while, um, in which um, I never like, I know people be comfortable with their mothers. And like me and my mom, like I love my mom to death. I love her to death. At the same time, I understand that my mother is another, she's her own soul. She's her own entity. She was her own person. So I had to accept it at that way, in which developed me a saying that I'm okay with everybody being them. They're just not okay with me being me. Because no matter how much my mother would say that she was proud of, she accepted, it didn't feel like. I was one of them kids that never really got the you're I'm proud of you and this and that and good job. I rarely got those. Right? Which it was a strain at the same time. Like I just had to fight. I had to fight through it. like I say, I've been on this journey a long time. So I still loved her though. Still love my mom. Like regardless, I used to tell her like you did the best that you can do with the card that you was dealt, and I respect and love you for that. But like we gotta have some type of connection so you can, So it's like we had a little strained relationship. I still love her. I'll still do whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it was one of them. So I started cable. Like I had a bunch of jobs. I had a bunch of fucking jobs. I had a bunch of jobs. One landed me doing cable. Landed me doing cable. Oh, before I did cable, like I did a stint in my cousin house. I had a cousin that was more like a sister to me at the time. My baby sister had passed from cancer, from breast cancer, and she passed. My niece was with my aunt for a minute. She was around, even though my sister wanted me to take her. Of course, said she has a father and she has to go with her father, which that's a whole nother story. But I went through this stage, right? Remember, I told you I'm on this journey. I'm out my side at this time. I had a cousin, my male cousin that stayed there with us. He worked at this club. Now, as much as I used to club jam when I had my cars and shit and was going out, like I never went to that club. It was in a part of town that is like I didn't know nobody over there, and they had no reason to go over there. Wasn't scared. I drove through, and I politic. I go give me some weed and all type of shit. But I'm just saying, like, it's just one of them things. Like common sense. You don't like, you know. And prior to this time, like when I crashed the car, mind you, I had 20 something when I came home. That lasted a year. I spent up 20 some thousand, balled out, party, kicked it. But when I lost the car, lost the money, it was like everybody disappeared. Everybody disappeared. And my good auntie, she gave me another gem, was like, sometimes people grow up and they get older and they grow apart. People get their own lives. I said, you know what, you're right. But I was smart enough to know, like, if somebody wants you in their life, they'll make sure that you're in their life. Right? I get that from my uncle. You see, my uncle was a realist and he kept it 100. It didn't matter who you was. So I asked him one day, I said, I got to talk to you about your sister. And he looked at me like, what? I say, so listen. I say, I understand who she is. I love her, respect her. I will never disrespect her. But do I have to allow her to make me feel the way she make me feel just because she's who she is? First time he ain't say nothing. He just sitting there steady, doing what he was doing. I think he was doing a crossword puzzle. He was doing something. He liked to write poetry, crossword puzzle, shit like that. So I asked him again. He looked at me. He said, no, just don't disrespect my sister. I said, but what about, he said, just don't disrespect my sister. I say, you know I'm the wrong one. He said, what you mean? I say, when you tell me to do what I gotta do, like I'm the wrong one because I'm gonna take it all the way there. Not meaning like I'm gonna hurt somebody, but if it take for me to detach, regardless on who you are, I'm like, he know this. He like, just don't disrespect my sister. And from that day on, it was like, all right, cool. I'm really not tripping. I'm really the fuck not tripping. You can't judge nobody for them being them. You judge the actions and you make the decision based upon the action, how the action affects you, or you're going to deal with something or somebody or not. It's that right there. That's the judgment. People make it seem like you're judging a person, and sometimes people do based on how they speak. That's why I made a post one day. I say you shouldn't converse. Stop conversing and share observations because I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just trying to paint a picture for you so you can see what I'm saying. That's it. That's all. Right? So, live with my cousin. We had a blast that summer. I tried to pick back up the little pedal of dream because I was in a box. It was like I was in a point like I needed some money. Test. Consistent test, right? Um, I lost $1 million lottery ticket, Powerball ticket, moving out of there. Because I end up doing cable, end up getting my first little spot. End up moving up out of there. And I left all my stuff. End up reading a little while later that $1 million winning ticket was sold and not claimed from the location that they gave. That was my ticket because I used to go across the bridge that morning. Can't nobody convince me otherwise because it was never cashed in. So boom, we at the club, man. I'm talking about drug induced, like marijuana and X pills and vodka and loose cigarettes was our diet for that summer. We ate good, cuz made sure it was stamps in there. I had no problem cooking. I'll shelf some shit up in a minute. I'm gonna cook for the whole house. What's up? It ain't matter. 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning. I was on that. So like we was heavy, like, yeah. But I go through all of that and then cable. Go start cable. Start doing cable, make this little start doing cable. Nice. It's nice trade. I can make some real money. I started making like $750 out the gate, like $750 a week. Boom. That shit was cool. Cable started me falling in love with traveling. Falling in love with growing as a person. Falling in love with who I was and what I was. Because every time I went somewhere, I found out something different about myself. All right. I'm an Aries. And Aries most of the time get a shitty rap. But let's look at it. The aspect, one of the main qualities, leadership, right? That's where this Aries leadership kicked in. During the first year of me doing cable, right toward the end, I started traveling. And right then I'm like about 27, 28. And I'm gonna say this in the first chapter. Went out of town.